What is up, you guys? Beltree Sam here. Boy, oh golly gee. I've been wanting to take a stab at doing some more long-form content for a while now. I just haven't had the time, what with, the old job job and whatnot, and the comic on top of everything else. I just don't want to take away from that. But I had this idea for this video, and it keeps coming back to me, so it's not going to leave me alone unless I do it. I once heard somewhere that ideas are kind of alive. Like they're their own creatures, they're independent of us. Like we don't think of ideas, the ideas come to us. And we're sort of vessels for the ideas. And I kind of like that thought. When ideas come to me, they don't leave me alone. Like this video, I keep thinking about doing it. It's kind of like the idea comes to me and it haunts me. And this is actually what happened when I thought of the idea for my current comic, Life and Death. I was sitting in one of my college classes, I remember very well, and I did my first ever sketch of Death Sorceress, who we now know and love. It's kind of sad because I actually deleted the very first sketch because I was embarrassed, which we'll get into here in a minute, but I sketched her in that class for the very first time. And after I sketched her, pretty soon after, I doodled the life wizard, the apprentice that we all know and love today. And after I drew them, it kind of seemed like my ideas kept expanding. Like I had the ideas for these characters and for the story. It wasn't even really a story at that point. It was just like, oh, a life wizard and a death sorceress, and then they could fall in love. Like that was that was the idea. But then when I actually drew them, I started getting more and more ideas about the world and how their magic could cancel each other's out, and how, he would want to be her apprentice, and that would kind of force them to spend time together, and how this story could unfold. And I had all these ideas, and I thought they were good, and thinking about it made me happy. But the thing is, I was really scared to actually make it happen. I had never drawn anything this complicated before. It was like a full-on story, like a comic. I was used to just kind of doodling. Like all of my early stuff is just a bunch of doodles, random little guys. And so I didn't think I had the skill for it. I don't know anything about anatomy or making character design, making characters look good, proportions, all that stuff. So that was one part of it. But then the other part of it that was making me scared, making me nervous to actually do it, was the story itself. I mean, the premise of the story, it's a romance story. It's a cheesy romance story. And I thought about doing it and posting it, and like, oh gosh, what would the people I know think if they knew that I was making this cheesy rom-com story? I mean, I'm supposed to be alpha sigma male, tough guy. And here I was gonna make a mushy, gushy, corny love story about two wizards. Lame. So those thoughts were the ones that kind of stopped me from trying the most, among other things. But no matter what I did, the idea, the characters, the story, everything just would not leave me be. Story beats would come to me. I'd think about the characters and their backstories, their designs. I kept doodling them in secret. I actually didn't even tell my wife because I was so embarrassed that about this story, about this idea. Again, I just thought it was so corny, but it wouldn't leave me alone. I was embarrassed about my bad drawings, as you can see right here. I was just too embarrassed to even tell anyone, but the thought of it and doodling and sketching made me really happy. So eventually, because the idea would not leave me alone, and because I had started doodling and sketching, I told my wife, and of course, unsurprisingly, she praised the idea and she supported me like she always does. And I felt silly that I'd ever been too nervous to tell her about it, since she's always supported me and like always supported my ideas. So her support was really the fuel I needed to just keep drawing them. I wasn't posting them anywhere, but I was drawing them, thinking of the story. And eventually, one fateful evening, I posted my very first comic on TikTok. It didn't go mega viral or anything, but it got some traction in the first couple days, and I had multiple comments from people who were saying like, I want to see more of these characters, or some people said that they liked my art style, and I was so happy. Like I was so happy that people were clicking with this thing that I made, and because this idea had filled me with so much joy and had bothered me for so long, like, that urge to make it real, having other people look at it and like it too was like everything to me. And because of that, I kept going, and I made more and more, and I started fleshing out the story, and I made new characters, Wildlife and Gravok and Rhea, and now I've got this ongoing story, and I love it. I love making the story. The best part is I'm getting closer and closer to taking the leap to doing comics full time as my job. Thanks to my Patreon supporters, big shout out, love you guys so much. I wake up every morning, I sit down to do my comics, it's the first thing I do in the morning, and I can't help but sometimes think, What if I had been too scared to do it? What if I'd let those doubts about my skills or the corniness of it all stop me from doing it? This thing that's bringing my life meaning every single day could have never been had I listened to those fears. So I'm currently living in Japan, as some of you know. I went to the Tokyo Contemporary Art Museum the other day with my wife, and they had this space exhibit, and it was all just about like seeing the unseen world, universe around us. It was a very cool exhibit. Lots of super cool stuff, as you can see on here. We weren't allowed to film, but I snuck some video for you guys. One of the exhibits was this projector on a black wall. It started at the Earth, and it slowly zoomed out further and further and further until the Earth was a speck in the vast galaxy, and it labeled some of the stars, and it totally sounds cliche, but having it visualized like that, seeing it start in the Earth and zoom out until it was so tiny, it made me feel so very small there in Tokyo, standing in front of that exhibit. And it made me also think that the time that I have right now is so very short. In the grand scheme of things, it's truly nothing. I am of the personal belief that no one can truly know what waits for us after we pass on. Maybe another life, maybe nothing. But no matter what you believe, I think we can all benefit from the phrase that I thought when I was standing in front of that exhibit: what if all I have is now? Because if all I have is now, then who cares? Who cares if people know I'm writing a cheesy, silly, romantic comedy comic online? It's who I am. The comic comes from my heart. I can't get to my 70s and think about that idea I once had that I never brought to reality. I don't want to live with that regret, and I'm glad I won't have to because I did it. I guess the whole point of this video, other than giving a little bit of background to the comic and to also just kind of start doing some long form videos, is to tell everybody who's watching to not be scared about whatever it is you want to do. Don't be too scared. Don't be too shy or too embarrassed. Just please, whatever it is, do it. Our time is so short, but at the same time, it is never too late to start. Yes, maybe all we have is now, but we have it right now. I love you guys. Huge shout out to my top tier patrons. If you want to read the comic, the main story is free on the Patreon. And if you want to support the comic and help me become a full-time comic creator, you can also support on the Patreon. Love you guys so much. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. And yeah, don't forget to smile.